So I'm just going to open it up to you because your story is only one for you to tell. And like, just tell us your story about what it was like, how you got there, where you are today.
Yeah, 100%. So the story starts when I was fairly young. I was actually raised as a Jehovah's Witness, and everybody knows that. And Jehovah's Witnesses are very strict. It's not a gray religion. It's very black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was 20 years old, I ended up getting pregnant. And because of that pregnancy, I was what's called disfellowshipped, which means they cut you out completely, all your friends, all of your family, you're completely cast out and nobody talks to you, nobody converses you or even acknowledges you, right? So even if I were to go to church and like show up, no one would even look at me. Yeah. So, I got kicked out. And I'm this 20-year-old, totally naive. I don't know what I'm doing, very sheltered life, and wind up having a baby at the age of 21 years old. And led a stereotypical single mom, just broke life, just literally no money. No money.
I'm working for friends and no family.
And no family.
No support that you knew.
No, none. And I'm making like $8 an hour at my corporate job. And that is supposed to pay for my housing and my baby and the car and the gas and the phone and the insurance and daycare and food. And it was not covering it at all. Absolutely no child support because we were both broke. We were both broke and he could barely afford to live on his own. Right. So just bad circumstances all the way around, no community, no network. And I wind up falling into this very, very abusive relationship with a man who, I don't know, he showed up on like a white horse and he was showing me attention and he was talking to me and taking me out to dinner. And he was a very bad man.
Wow.
He was a very bad man. A lot of people ask me when I knew that this individual was a bad man. And I always say from day one, the day that I met him, I knew. I think I was just so desperate.
Yeah, I got to imagine it wasn't something that, most 20, 21-year-olds with a new baby and no family, no support, who wouldn't take that knight on a shine, like a white horse, right? Kind of thing. Even if you, in your gut, in your wise mind, had a sense that he was a bad guy, right? Like you didn't really see that probably.
No. Yeah. There was an internal dialogue that I did have of like, just one more time. Like, I was hanging out with him one more time because he was taking me out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm sitting at home by myself with my baby. I'm depressed, postpartum. I'm hating my life. And this guy comes to me. He's like, hey, let's go grab some Italian. Let's go get you a steak.
And you don't have to pay.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, he was rude the whole time. He'd be yelling at the waiters, road rageaholic. It was insane. My anxiety would go through the roof. But free meal,
right.
Someone's paying attention to me. I'm doing something other than just sitting at my apartment with my baby. I'm getting to get dressed up to feel pretty. And so as much as there's...
real fast, let me see. Because it seems also that his behaviors, although they were like red flags for you, were directed at others. Like not initially at you.
Yes and no.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Just the two examples you shared, right? Like the road rage, the waiter, right? Those are not qualities that you really want to kind of surround yourself with the person that you'd be like, oh, I'm so proud to be at dinner with you, right? More like I'm embarrassed that how could you speak to somebody that way?
Yeah, I would always, and I did that throughout our entire relationship. I'd have to like go and apologize.
Wow.
To the waiter. Like I had to go to the bathroom or whatever it was. And I'd get the waiter. I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Like,
wow.
Not you, everything's fine. Like, don't let this get you, because I would feel so bad.
Yeah.
The things that I do want to notate that I don't always get to acknowledge on podcasts is the dynamic between an individual who has narcissistic traits and an individual who has high codependency traits.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, the individual who has a lot of narcissism going on, they are portrayed as like the user.
Right.
They like use, they abuse. And one of the things that I've really come to realize throughout this whole journey that I've been through, because I wound up being with this guy for almost a decade in a romantic relationship with him, through a lot of circumstances that happened, is reflecting back on it is I also used him.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the codependent or the individual who has this high sense of like empathy, they're like the good one. We're so good, we're so kind, we're showing up, we're helping, but the dynamic only works because we both need something.
Right.
Right? So like if I'm real, like if I'm being real, and this took me a long time to admit, years afterwards to admit, but if I'm being real, dude, totally used him for money.
Yeah.
Totally used him for attention. Totally used him for a home. Totally used him for financial purposes because I had no means to take care of myself. I had no friends and no family backing me. And then he used me, right? He used me. He, sexually, he used me to help him build his business. He was barely paying me any money at all. So the amount of work that I was putting in multiplied by the money he was, paying me was well worth, he was abusing my work ethic basically.
Right.
So the dynamic only works that way though, like as codependent as you want. But if the individual who has narcissistic traits is not giving you anything, you don't stay.
Yeah.
You only stay if there's a dynamic of give and take.
Right. But you didn't see that, and you didn't even, at 20 years old, 21, it would make sense that all those things were like just laid out on a nice little silver platter, and you didn't even think of the consequences.
No, absolutely. Well, also, like, I didn't grow up like that. And I'm even like that to today. I talk about this a lot, is I'm like a good person.
Yeah.
And like, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I show up with full intention. And so I think everybody's like that. Like, I think everybody, when they say something, they're going to do it. I think everybody's going to show up to the fullest of their capacity in whatever area of which they're promising to show up. And then they don't.
I hear you.
And then I'm like so confused.
I get it. That's why I always joke, but I'm such a bad business person because like my word is my word. I don't need a sheet of paper. If I give you my word, like, right. That's why I've been so screwed in the past from a business side because like, wait, I just said this, I would do this and I'm doing this. And you said you would do this and you're not.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. So I totally can understand that.
Yeah. And that's the issue with my partner at that time is tons of promises, all empty promises, tons of carrots. I always say they always have a carrot that they're like moving you around with. And you're constantly like chasing the carrot, trying to get whatever it was. For me, it was marriage, kids, commitments, bigger house, a car, whatever he was dangling in front of me at that time.
Right.
And it totally 100% worked. But see, I thought that when you say you're going to do something, you're actually going to do it. I didn't realize that years later, I'd turn around and none of it would come to fruition. I mean, that's crazy. Meanwhile, I was holding up my end of the bargain every single day, tenfold.
Right.